Janta's hope, Toshara. She waits for a speeder to pass before crossing the road. Breaking into a jog, she goes by a Twi'lek woman leaning against a post.
Number 1, it's a game I've mentioned a few months ago with a new trailer over here today, finally. Previously rumored to be years off, but now coming out for PCs and the next generation of consoles mid to late 2024. The one open world Star Wars game with a whole new direction that is, in case you're unfamiliar with, Star Wars Outlaws. Just take a look. We already know there's about 5, 6 or maybe even 7 Star Wars games in the making, but this one easily takes the cake as Ubisoft, Lucasfilms and even Disney are partnering up.
On screens throughout the establishment.
All troopers, we have reports of a fugitive in Jaunta's Hope. Move to apprehend.
Kay runs outside.
That Imperial announcement wouldn't be about you, would it?
Could be.
I told you not to trust her.
Not the first time we've outrun the Empire.
With Nyx running at her side, Kay sprints up a ramp onto a landing pad. They hurry up a ship's open ramp, and once inside, make a beeline for the cockpit, where ND5 waits in the co-pilot's seat.
We need to leave.
Yeah, no kidding.
In Dragon's Dogma 2, up to 3 AI-controlled beings called pawns can join you on your adventures. Players can choose from 4 starting vocations that determine how they will play.
This might have been the longest wait in history, but we finally got our first look at the long-awaited, probably one of the most anticipated of the past few years, Dragon's Dogma 2, a couple months ago. This sequel over here is now coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles only, following an almost 12-year development and premise, and we're still anticipating a release date. This is also legit in-game footage.
Yourself and your party using your shield. As we keep going, we can see some harpies in the distance. As an archer, you'll be better suited to take down enemies above you. Let's see what they can do. The archer is a vocation that uses a bow and arrow to attack enemies from a distance. Make full use of your arsenal, including exploding or blighting arrows. You can also aim at your enemies like a third-person shooter.
To Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, an immersive action RPG that takes you on an exhilarating journey between life, death, love, and sacrifices.
Next up, it is Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. This is a narrative-driven action-adventure from Don't Nod and Focus Entertainment, same developers of Life is Strange games, and what seems to be taking inspiration from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a little bit of Bloodborne and even Vampire. Because Banishers was actually announced earlier this year with a vague window. This game is now releasing February 13 next year instead of November this year. It's going to be coming to PCs in the next generation of consoles only.
Unable to move on to the next plane of existence, she returns to Red as the thing she despises most, a ghost. Torn between their vows to protect the living from malicious spirits and the nightmare of Antea's condition, they wander the eerie wilderness of North America, seeking to liberate her from her new plight, whatever the price to pay.
NetEase Games just revealed a new open-world action RPG going by the name Project Mugen. Supposedly a PC to PlayStation 5 exclusive with crossplay with Android and iOS. Mugen here says the looks could be deceiving, quite a bit like the Justice League open-world game, albeit set in an open world where humans coexist with supernatural entities. The combat in this game can be team-based, or you could say tactical hack and slasher. The game's fully free to play when it releases next year.
最後までデュラでいられるのかしら。願いが叶いやすいように私が空に流れ星を流してあげる。でもジャイアントと隕石がこの町を滅ぼすって言われてんだぞ。
まだわからないのか。真の悪役はお前たちだ。この町を破壊したのはお前たちだろう。さあ 終焉を楽しもうじゃないか。
つまりこれで終わりってことね。
Dreamlit, on the other hand, just came out and revealed another trailer for Towers of Aghasba. This is a also open-world building game they released earlier this year with a cinematic, and that the game is now coming to PlayStation 5 PCs next year. It's basically an island management sim where you explore a huge place, learn about the ecosystem, gather matter, hunt, so you can eventually manage some civilization. The game is specifically made with family-friendly components. Now look guys, if you miss out on the Gamescom, Helldivers just went on and re-revealed Crimson Desert, a S tier or even God tier MMORPG or action RPG we had eyes on for almost 3 years, following an even bigger reveal last year. If you've been waiting on this thing, we got a rather lengthy new look at its gameplay, offering a rather Breath of the Wild looking or even a New Zelda kind of world. On top of that, a release window of late 2024. Check it out.
Just close your eyes and listen. Tell me you can't hear that. Her rallying cry.
Planet runs out of energy. It and everything on it dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters? Am I even human?
As technically the biggest PlayStation 5 exclusive almost ever, number 7, we have the second game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, Rebirth, which basically follows up on the divisive ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you probably know this already, but taking place in an alternative timeline. Meaning the story is a tad different than the first game, and that's all there's to it. Square Enix announced the game will be coming out February 29, 2024 for PCs and the PlayStation 5 only.
Do not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
Sephiroth! Come on!
On me.
Look!
And today I'm pleased to share an extended look at Helldivers 2. We're starting on the ship's bridge, preparing to select our mission from the Galactic War Map. Once cleared for mission engagement, it's time to go into your Hellpod and prepare for planetfall.
Moving on, we have the longest awaited Arrowhead Studio sequel to a 7-year-old top-down shooter game called Helldivers. A new game, Helldivers 2, is going to be coming to PlayStation 5 and PCs only, no longer by the end of the year, but February 8th next year. It's a third-person shooter that mixes Returnal, the PlayStation 5 exclusive from last year, with the upcoming formula of the game Arc Raiders, in engine and also the combat. This is how it looks.
We're covering your rear. Oh, there's loads of them. I'm switching to flamethrower. Oh god! No, it's the boss item! Oh, I died. Reinforcing. Oof, I have to run. Alright, I'm back. Can you guys take him out with the recoilless?
Yeah, I'll try to take him down from the side. Reload my recoilless.
On it. I got enemies on my back as well. Oh, there's a charger here.
I'm gonna take out the Brood Commander.
He's charging me.
We take out the charger with the recoilless.
Alright.
Reload way.
Nice. I'm gonna thin out the crowd a little bit.
Coming up behind that, we have Soulframe. This is like 30 more minutes of its legit 4K gameplay, which we included like a minute of it, coming from the same dude who created Directed Warframe, which if you're new to, is a fantasy MMO or action RPG, obviously free-to-play game. The two games, by the way, have nothing in common except the gameplay elements and some designs. The game is taking place in a single large open world, heavily influenced by nature, a lot of exploration and some Japanese fantasy.
Stag will be yours come moonrise. You may send your collector.
Oh yeah, I should say that because we're an envoy of souls, every location in the game has kind of these wandering souls, and they constitute, I guess you could say, like a fourth spell slot. So we'll see how that works in a moment.
A relic of pre-Odin wars. The Fire King, Fenjodar, built this place, the Undercity of Dermak.
What if we could build a world? What would we do if we could start again?
Number 10, we have one of the most anticipated and off-the-radar open world games from an indie developer too. That's a AAA and an Unreal Engine 5 project. In fact, started development over 5 years ago, a game called Everywhere. Here's an update on that finally, and only the words out of the company, and I quote, "A multi-world gaming experience that seamlessly blends gameplay, adventure, creativity and discovery."
Creations can come to life. Come with me and build what's never been built. Our reality. Our friends. Your imagination. Time for a new world. Let's build it together.
Next up, we have Team Ninja's new IP ever since their latest game. Assuming you're not keen to this one yet, the folks are bringing another samurai game around called Rise of the Ronin, a PlayStation 5 exclusive by Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo together, promising a multi-layered story again that showcases the 19th century-ish Japanese samurai life that has been abandoned by its master, the kind that's called Ronin. Anyway, it's an action sim game and a hack and slasher. It's going to be coming to the PlayStation 5 exclusively, like I said, early next year.
I will watch over you all as your blades carve a new future. Your time has come.
Seen friends lose life and limb. But there's always...
Number 12. We have a Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Still in the works, of course. It's been quite some time since we've had a major update on the new entry, but as for gameplay, unfortunately there has been none. What we do know recently is that the game is supposedly delivered to PCs and the next generation of consoles at its latest by the end of 2024, and that Dreadwolf is actually the official new title for Dragon Age 4, where also Soulless is making a comeback as the protagonist.
We've got your back. I've got your back. Demons, dragons, darkspawn. Even the Dreadwolf. This is your story.
After more than 2 years of nothing but a cinematic over here, this August we finally received some gameplay on Avowed, which is Obsidian Entertainment's take on Skyrim, or what we believed it to be in the beginning when it was revealed, and then later on turned out to be a much heavier, choice-driven game in nature. Kind of Skyrim meets the Outer World, which kind of makes sense. This game is coming to PCs and Xbox consoles only early to mid next year. This is how it looks.
Our very souls. You want us to trust you. But the truth is, you scare us. The way you fight. The power you wield. The secrets you keep. You're either here to save us or destroy us. So now that you have all this power, what are you gonna do with it?
And so too, Nightingale. Awaken your first portal and tread on towards that which is boundless, beyond the measurable.
Nightingale has been around since last year's Game Awards, since announcement, and has ever since been one of the most anticipated games on the horizon. We all thought it's going to be coming in 2023, however, the word just came out, it's going to be released on the PCs only February 22nd next year. Now the good news is the game is coming to early access phase first, so there's a good chance we get a console release too. And in case you missed it, this is a fantasy open world survival third and first person crafting shooter.
Regardless of which portal variety you favor, realm cards will be necessary.
私は近くの町で保安官をしているラオと申す。
Number 15 from the same team behind Dragon Ball games, hence the resemblance that you're gonna see in a second. We've got over here since last month the open world adventure game going by the name Sandland. This is an action adventure quite a bit inspired by the company's previous works, with cel-shaded graphics set in a huge desert in a post-apocalyptic time era. Here's a trailer. The game is set to be coming to PCs and all consoles early next year.
思ったより数が多いな。国王軍とは戦わんと言ったじゃないか。本当に泉なんてあると思うか。
あいつがあるって言うんなら泉はありそうだ。
まずいんじゃないのかゼウ。殺せ。息の根を止めるんだ。貴様だけは絶対に許さない。
水？どういうことだよ。俺たちが見つけようとしてる幻の泉って。
それにしてもさすが悪魔だな。信じられん強さだ。
あんたは王子の真の怖さを分かっとらん。
悪魔は本当の悪魔は私の方じゃないか。
面白くなってきたじゃん。
Coming after 5 years of wait since its original, at number 16 we have Phantom Doctrine. This is a turn-based tactics about espionage, and the sequel over here, Phantom Doctrine 2 The Cabal, seems to be a rather third-person stealth kind of game like pretty much the Hitman games. Cabal also presents an alternative version of the events of the 1986 in the previous game, in which the Chernobyl explosion is the beginning of a series of terrorist attacks.
The Cabal is responsible for the attacks. Your objective? Sabotage their activities. We've located 3 of Cabal's spies. Confront them. Your first goal is one of the scientists at the Chernobyl disaster. Identify him and procure information about the Cabal. Eliminate the target. Goal 2 is Kana Sato in Tokyo, a professional assassin. Get close to the target and spy on her to unmask her plans. Be extremely careful with her. You'll approach her as John Perkins. Your third goal? Cabal's mole in the agency. Find him in Sao Paulo. Eliminate the target and steal his identity. Start in Miami. You'll meet our contact regarding crew and equipment. If the mission is compromised, resulting in your or any other crew member's death, all knowledge of your mission will be denied by the Secretary. Good luck, Mr. Reeves.
Like Dragon Infinite, Wealth will launch both physically and digitally for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PCs, and the past generation of consoles on January 26 next year. Sega announced that this time Ichiban and Kazuma go on a pretty larger-than-life adventure across Japan and Hawaii, where you will experience one-of-a-kind combat with dynamic, fast-paced RPG battles, where the battlefield becomes your weapon, using over-the-top moves as much as you can. Check it out in case you missed it.
You know what else?
A corpse dog!
よし
よしさっさと来い
おりゃ
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 recently received a release window of late 2024, possibly releasing at the same time now, except next year. And if you're wondering, yes, this game was supposedly releasing about 3 years ago and already in development for over 4 years. We've only seen a glimpse of gameplay, from which we know it's a third-person stealth action RPG, semi-open world in nature. It's gonna be coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles, as it was announced recently. Number 19, we have over here the sequel to the long-awaited open-world BioWare-style RPG GreedFall. Now, the story seems to be starting 3 years before the events of the first game, and this time you play as a native in the old world, ravaged by war, plague, and a political scheme. Therefore, you need to regain your freedom and control, get the hang of your own destiny. This game is coming to PCs and both generation of consoles sometime next year. And last but not least, I had pretty much no clue where this even came from. Don't still know, even though it's been months. We've got something here going by the name We Kill Monsters, what I've gathered to be in development since only last year. It's a mix of Horizon, Death Stranding, Shadow of Colossus, and even Genshin Impact. Looking pretty much better than all four. I mean, not really, but kind of. Unfortunately, the game is that we just know the game is going to be coming out next year. This is how it looks.